呜呼！大声喊出我们现在要去哪里？
Disneyland.
哪里的 Disneyland？
Paris.
Paris, Paris, Paris. Hello guys, this vlog about my trip to Paris is divided into two parts. First is attraction sightseeing and the latter is a food tour. Before we move on, let me introduce the third person who will show up a lot in this vlog, Zhang Leyi. He's my high school friend and currently studies bioinformatics in Denmark. I hope you can enjoy this vlog, and now let's get started. When it comes to attractions in Paris, the most famous one is definitely the Eiffel Tower. Wow! If you want to reach the summit, I highly recommend that you reserve tickets online ahead of time. Otherwise, you will be standing in long lines at the site as we did. There are two kinds of tickets for the tower. One is to take the lift for the whole journey, and the other is to take the stairs to the second level and then take the lift. We actually had no choice but to choose the second type, because the queue for the first type was way too long. Merci. Oh, 到了。哟，哪个要撒一脚？我不撒。你说的你要撒一脚。放你说的。There's a small cafe on the first level where we took a break and bought coffee and tea to quench our thirst. 真的会谢，又开始爬。我真的会谢，我不想欣赏，我就想直接上车在上头欣赏。哦，而且我们当时要走下来。The view from the top is splendid, and personally speaking, better than from Montmartre. You can get a superb panorama, and we all agree that Paris really looked like a giant pizza. We also passed by Arc de Triomphe when we were heading to Champs-Élysées, but it was already dark and we didn't take many photos. Ooh, Champs-Élysées. De la pluie, de soleil, de la pluie. À midi, à minuit, il y a de Champs-Élysées. 买得起啥子嘛？你说？啥子都买得起，刷我的卡。我们现在要进凡尔赛宫了。If you really enjoy visiting museums and you are not students from universities in Europe, I suggest buying a Paris museum pass as we did. You can buy the e-pass online or the paper version at CDG Airport and downtown. We chose the paper version because we want to keep it as a souvenir. This pass includes entry to almost all the museums in Paris that you are aware of, and it actually saved us a lot of time because there is a special entry almost at every museum, only allowing people with the pass.
I'm such a good suffer 가라앉지 않게 비틀거리다가 풍덩 빠지더라도 구명복 따윈 줄 알아 I'm such a good suffer 휩쓸리지 않게 울렁울렁거리다가 들워 깨워내더라도 지는 건 난 못 참아 제일 높은 파도 올라타탈락 쫓아와 일과 함께 사라질 타이밍 넌 내가 골라
模一样。 我在录像，我没有在拍照。Another activity that I'm really fond of is the Sing Night Cruise. It only costs about 15 euro and you can treat yourself to an enchanting 1-hour cruise in a glass canopy boat. We set off near the tower and follow the river all the way to Notre Dame Cathedral. On the way back, we happened to witness the tower's light show. 亮了吗？亮了。哦，那走吧，我们正好下船。And to be honest, I think the tower at night is much more fascinating than during the day. 他到晚了，再来。我们现在在哪里？Disneyland，世界上最快乐的地方。The most exciting day of the trip, my roommate thought, was the day we went to Disneyland. Luckily, Disneyland in Paris was celebrating Halloween and its 30th anniversary. Besides all the exciting rides, a daily parade, and a daily illumination show. We also saw a Halloween parade, a villain light show, and an extra show for the anniversary. Now we come to the second part, the food tour. We had a really full schedule each day, so most of the time we ate breakfast at our Airbnb. Fortunately, there was a boulangerie right next door to where we were staying, and Zhang Leyi went there almost every morning to buy us French breakfast. 给大家看一下我们早上艰难的用餐环境。He also bought us a cup of espresso. As for lunch and dinner, our initial plan was to try some French food. We did actually. We tried snail with garlic butter, dog confit.
油汤圆？
什么叫油汤呀？
你们吃过油汤圆？没有啊。就是油汤我吃过没有？
也没有。
你真的是成都人吗？
And fondue fromage. Fondue fromage really surprised me. Before we tried it, I thought it was going to be greasy, but when I took the first bite, I found that I really liked the texture. My favorite way to eat it is to dip a potato into the fromage and then wrap it with a slice of salami. Another dessert that I'm really fond of is called crème poulet. 怎么样？好吃啊？ And the funny thing is that when I went back to Quebec, I found that we also have it here in some restaurant. But I just never read the page about desserts for dinner. Besides all the French food that I mentioned above, the rest of the time, we still have Chinese cuisine. At the end of this vlog, I'd like to express my appreciation to a friend in Paris. She's actually a friend of a friend, and before we met in Paris, we only met once back in China. She's so warm-hearted and talkative, in a positive way, that she introduced a lot of you must try in Paris. So last night in Paris, 3 of us, my roommate didn't feel well at that time, so only 3 of us went to a bar and had a long talk about our hobbies, our programs, and our future. I also got a very tasty drink named Monaco. According to my friend, this is a beer mixed cocktail that hails from France. And it's very easy to make, just a cup of white beer with some syrup. Ernest Hemingway once said, "If you are lucky enough to have lived in Paris as a young man, then wherever you go for the rest of your life, it stays with you. For Paris is a movable feast." Indeed, Paris is such an unforgettable city, where creativity and enthusiasm coexist. Unfortunately, during the 8 days, we rushed among all the attractions, but forgot to slow down and enjoy the city. We didn't have enough time to walk into artist alleys in Montmartre, to sit by the Seine and take an afternoon coffee, or to find a chair in Jardin des Tuileries and wait for the sunset. There are always regrets when traveling, so Paris, à la prochaine.